This is my house. Understand? That's my chair, that's my table, that's my piano, my binoculars, my pictures. That used to be my dog, my sofa. I'm king here.
It's a beautifully played and acted and written scene. And in fact, that scene is really the essence of the Flamingo Kid. That is to say, the conflict between generations in an ordinary working-class New York family. Matt Dillon heads an exceptional cast, including Hector Elizondo there, so proud and convincing, and determined as he is to better his son's lot in life. And Richard Crenna, very effective as the fast-talking Sharpie who nearly ruins the boy's chances for success. Now, the Flamingo Kid is a small movie. It's a movie you've got to seek out amidst the much more publicized holiday blockbusters. But I will long remember its honest characters, its poignant screenplay, and its intelligence. Oh, if only half the other teenager coming-of-age movies were nearly as rewarding as the Flamingo Kid. I really like this little movie.
I don't know about intelligence, and there's nothing very original about this picture either. It's sort of like a Gentile version of Goodbye Columbus with the Cincinnati Kid tacked on at the end. But I agree with you on this one. It worked for me, and I think the reason it worked for me is it gives you a stake in Matt Dillon's choice. Is he going to take instant gratification, or is he going to go on to college? And with that stake, you really care about what happens in the future.
And good for Matt Dillon for choosing to change the kind of roles he usually plays. This was my time.
He's surprisingly effective in this movie.
I was about that age back then. I'm giving away a secret to you. And I really felt it's almost like the feeling you get in Breaking Away. And also 1963, the summer of '63, was really the last summer of innocence before assassinations and war came, and a last walk on the beach around Labor Day time. I like that whole mood. I went through that. I identify with the story, and it's beautifully played. It's an honest picture. It's a noble film.
Yeah, things may sound like cliches, but this movie does have heart, and heart can cover a multitude of sins. It's a slight movie, but it's amiable, and it's effective.
And isn't heart a rare commodity these days in movies?
So 2 yeses on this one. Well, now we've got a spoof of gangster movies in the spirit of Airplane. It's called Johnny Dangerously, and it stars in the title role one of my favorite young comedians, Michael Keaton, as an up-and-coming mobster in the New York of the 30s. Now, as a front for his criminal activities, Keaton owns a fancy nightclub. And in this scene, he arrives at the club, and he finds his favorite kind of songbird, the female kind.
Hey, who's the nightingale?
Oh, some dame. She just blew in from Pittsburgh.
Say, kid, what do they call you?
Impressive.
Her name is Lil Sheridan, Johnny.
Thanks. Lil Sheridan, huh? My name's Dangerously. Johnny Dangerously.
Do you know your last name's an adverb?
Hey, I like that. You got spirit, spunk, fire, verb. You got those. I like those on a woman.
Gee, my heart's all aflutter.
I'll tell you what. Why don't you take my card?
Enjoying yourself?
You call me tomorrow.
Yeah? Well, don't be upset when you don't hear the phone ringing.
You suit yourself?
I hope this is doing something for your morale.
That's the first time I had to take that card back. I kind of like it. I'll be seeing you.
Well, later, a rival member of Johnny's gang, played by Saturday Night Live's Joe Piscopo, frames Johnny for murder, and the mob king has to go to prison. But he's such a sweet guy that even the warden gives him a big welcome.
Johnny, it's an honor to have you on death row.
Ah, don't be silly. Pleasure's all mine. Hey, your pop's still here, huh?
You bet.
Finally got you on Brooklyn. Tough break.
John.
Louie, how the hell are you? You look great.
You're beautiful, Johnny.
Listen, why don't you go out and get the boys some quiche, huh?
Mr. Johnny on the
Later,
Berman's going to kill Johnny's brother at the Savoy Theater tomorrow night. Got it?
Got it.
Berman's going to kill Johnny's brother at the Savoy Theater. Pass it on.
Furman's gonna kill Johnny's brother at the Savoy Theater tonight. Pass it on.
Furman's gonna kill Johnny's mother at the Savoy Theater tonight. Pass it on.
Furman's mother's gonna kill Johnny in another Savoy Theater. Pass it on.
Furman's gonna kill my mother at the Savoy tonight. Pass it on.
Urgent message through the grapevine, Johnny.
Yeah? What is it?
Johnny and the mothers are playing something at the Savoy in Vermont tonight.
Furman's gonna kill my brother at the Savoy Theater tonight.
I didn't say that.
No, but I know this grapevine.
That's the best scene in the movie, and even that is an old joke. Well, you can see for yourself, and as I said before, Johnny Dangerously is a spoof in the spirit of Airplane. In the spirit, maybe, but not with the talent of that picture. Airplane didn't work just because it had a joke or a gag or a pun every minute. I think it worked because the jokes and the gags and the puns happened to be funny. Johnny Dangerously tries desperately to please, and he'll do practically anything for a laugh. But its humor is juvenile, stupid, witless, and when all else fails, it's vulgar, which would still be all right if it were funny. A movie like this, without characters or a real plot, lives or dies by its jokes, and this one dies.
I agree. You know, I like Mary Lou Henner. I really like Michael Keaton.
I love
He's one of
Michael
the
Keaton.
brightest funny men. When even he can't save a movie, you know something's desperately wrong. This looks like a screenplay 4 or 5 rewrites away from being passable. There are the hint of funny moments here or there, and that's all. It's like watching a comedy in which it's all set up and no punchline at all. It's continually disappointing.
Well, it's so desperate to make us laugh that you feel the desperation. Good comedies are effortless. This movie is straining and straining and straining.
I wanted to like it so much. It looks like Airplane. Even those sequences, even the way they use the music there, even the way they use the camera there, it has the idea that they're trying to make another movie, as you said, in the Airplane
In fairness,
vein.
People in the theater, when we saw it, were laughing, but I think it just makes walking joke books out of some good actors, including Michael Keaton.
I think they were laughing because they had just come from DUNE and wanted to forget about that. They would have laughed at watching subway cars collide. Well, so unfortunately, two knows about this picture. Well, our next movie is The Cotton Club. It's the $45 million or $55 million, right in your own figure, monster movie which took years to make, was the subject of endless court battles, tantrums on the set by its director and eventual screenwriter, Francis Ford Coppola, last-minute rewrites, and countless delays and cost overruns. The stuff about which movies are so often made. Well, the setting in the Cotton Club is, of course, the famous Harlem nightclub in its heyday in New York in the Depression, when legendary black stars like Lena Horne, Cab Calloway, and the Nicholas brothers, among others, performed to a whites-only clientele, ironically. This scene centers around a cornet player, Richard Gere, who here saves a patron from a mob rub-out.
Hey, get it, Nicole. What are you sitting there all alone for? Come here. Give me a chance to dazzle you. Take you a breath away.
Come on.
Look at this. Kid's got the Midas touch with the broad. Park her right here.
What am I going to sit on?
See, kiddo.
I'm having that.
What a rude man.
What's your names, huh? All right, Veronica, Alice, am I right?
What's your name?
Forget it.
I got a Myrtle here.
Vera, as in very, very. Cicero, like in Latin. Did you ever study Latin?
I was an altar boy.
Myrtle, huh?
Yeah.
Is that your birth name?
I was.
I believe
Hey,
him.
you wearing a girdle?
Yes. Oh, that's a lovely time.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Going with anybody?
Yes. Ring on my finger, honey. What are they doing here?
Behaving, Mr.
Wanted by the police, Miss Cicero.
Tonight, fellas.
Watch out! Go after him!
What the hell is this?
Some people don't like me.
Who the hell are you, anyway?
I'm your Dutch uncle from now on, pal. I owe you one. Dutch Schultz owes you.
He, of course, is the infamous gangster Dutch Schultz. Hard to believe after even that scene to realize that Coppola also made The Godfather and its sequel,
Impossible
and
to
Apocalypse Now, too. In between frequent shifts, meanwhile, to a subplot in the movie involving a team of dancing brothers at the club played by the Hines brothers, and a love affair between one of the brothers and a black singer who's been passing for white, as they used to say, the Cotton Club finally gets to what I guess is its point, to show, I suppose, how Dutch Schultz's attempts to control all the Harlem rackets lead to violence. And in this scene, Gere, the cornet player who'd saved Schultz's life and has seen his friendship with Schultz grow sour now, has become a movie star. And here he confronts the gangster with his love for the hoodlum's mistress. Not the sort of news which adult Schultz will take lightly.
Thanks a lot.
What were you doing backstage with him?
I was kissing him.
Nice dinner, Andy.
You ever sleep with him?
Whenever I got the chance. And I will again if I get the chance.
Well, you'll never get it. Who put this on your finger, huh? Who puts that on your ear? How about that? Tell me.
Don't touch her. Don't you ever touch her like that again.
You son of a...
Don't get into it, Dixie.
I'm already in it. What is it you want to touch? What is it? All you ever do is give people grief in this life. What do you want to do? You want to rip out our hearts like you did Joe Flynn? Want to get into everybody's life and run it forever?
Life with you will always be divine.
How many people can you kill, Dutch?
Let's take it outside, not in the club. What do you say? Come on, let's go. Come on. go.
I'm not going anywhere with you.
I said let's go.
Crawl back in your rat hole. Leave her alone, Dutch.
Smart, boss. You son of a... You got one of these!
That's not why the Cotton Club was famous. Even from its very few first frames, it's pretty clear that the Cotton Club is a messy, disjointed movie which takes forever to get going. The subplot involving the Hines brothers, whom I adore, is potentially more interesting than the main story. Much of the dialogue, furthermore, looks ad-libbed or written at the very last minute, which I'm told it was, and there isn't a likable character in the main story. The events often look like scenes which might have been cut from other movies, like The Godfather, for instance. And so the Cotton Club instead tries to overwhelm you with its visual dazzle. It's opulent-looking, all right, I suppose, but it's about as deep as a gun moll's brain. It's all glitz, no substance at all, and a colossal waste of money and especially talent.
I'm not sure whether it's a waste of talent after Francis Ford Coppola's last pictures. He may not have any talent left.
That's right.
It's hard not to review the budget of this picture, or the director of this picture.
Where's the beat?
Or the problems of this picture. But if you look just at the picture and review it, we're talking major disaster here. We're talking Heaven's Gate.
They made a mistake in not making the movie about the Cotton Club, about the people who became stars there, why this club had this magical hold on the world, why people like Lena Horne and Cab Calloway and the Nicholas brothers became stars there. Instead, they made a sleazy gangster movie, and it's peripherally set in the Cotton Club.
They made the mistake of having no story to tell,
None.
so there's no suspense in the
shameful.
movie, of having no characters to engage us, and it's not even visually interesting. It looks like a bad imitation of a Sergio Leone spaghetti western.
Absolutely. There's no pace, and the first hour, you know, Bob and Ray have a company called Messy Productions, Inc., in their comedy bits. This sounds like it's their first big movie. It is sloppily put together.
Oh, it is incompetence on every single level. So two emphatic no's on the Cotton Club.
What a shame.
Well, how would you like to see the Cotton Club and all of the other holiday movies over again?
No, just the Flamingo Kid.
Well, since a lot of our PBS stations use this holiday season to raise money, as well they should, it's possible that you missed our reviews of some of the big Christmas movies. So just in case you did, here's a quick survey of how we felt. We agreed on Protocol, a comedy starring Goldie Hawn as a cocktail waitress who becomes a diplomat. It's obviously trying to rip off Private Benjamin, but this time out, somebody forgot to provide a story.
I can see that.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. You want to date me?
Emirs do not date.
Together. But we disagreed on the action comedy City Heat. Well, neither one of us found much good in it. I did like Eastwood and Reynolds together.
We did all right, huh? What a team.
We also disagreed on 2010. Jeffrey was enraptured. I thought it was pretty boring, and the ending was downright silly.
I don't understand this. If this date is correct, then there's something down there.
And we strongly disagreed on Mickey and Maude, with Dudley Moore as a bigamist with 2 pregnant wives. Jeffrey thought it was hilarious. I thought it had 15 hilarious minutes if you can stand Dudley Moore, which I can't.
Mrs. Salinger?
But I can. Welcome back, Dudley Moore. But despite those disagreements, there were several holiday releases on which Neal and I agreed. Neither of us liked Runaway, with Tom Selleck as a policeman after a mad scientist with renegade robots. It's an original premise, but an ordinary screenplay.
What do you think? I'm stupid, Ramsey?
What's the matter? Something wrong?
These aren't all of them, Ramsey.
Nobody does that to me. Nobody.
But do see Falling in Love, teaming Meryl Streep and Robert De Niro. It's just another version of a brief encounter love affair, but it's saved by intriguing performances by these revered actors.
Yeah, I'm married, too.
Well, lots of people are.
Yeah, I guess so.
You're funny.
And there's the return of the wonderful Pinocchio, one of Disney's best animated features. The images remain crisp, the story touching, even for adults, and 44 years hasn't dimmed the luster of this masterpiece.
I'm gonna be a real boy.
A real boy? It's my wish. It's come true.
And the big holiday hit is Beverly Hills Cop, another ordinary screenplay, but Eddie Murphy turns it into a first-rate comedy thriller.
For a man who claims to be on vacation, you look a lot like you're on a stakeout.
Stakeout? No, no. I'm picnicking. This is like a picnic area.
It's some warm memories there. Pinocchio was the first movie I ever saw.
Your nose isn't getting larger. What if Dune had been the first picture you'd ever seen, or Cotton Club? You would have been in the aluminum siding business now, right? Not as a film critic.
That's probably true, but I think it says something about this batch of Christmas
Certainly
movies
does.
that Pinocchio is one of the best movies that's come out this Christmas. There are really slim pickings, unfortunately.
I can't stand it when people who go to the movies professionally lament the state of the year each time. Oh, what a terrible year it is. But this year, for holiday moviegoings, the pickings are really, really mighty slim. There's Beverly Hills Cop,
which is got, as you said, a weak screenplay, but a terrific performance by Eddie Murphy, a really entertaining picture.
I can't believe it was written with Sylvester Stallone in mind. Unbelievable.
I like City Heat. I know you hate it. There's not much to recommend it, but I do like the performances of Eastwood and
You
Reynolds.
like because of Clint Eastwood. And The Flamingo Kid is a movie to seek out and really enjoy and savor. It's not getting the publicity I think it deserves. It's a lovely little film. And there's precious little else around.
Yeah, the other pictures are really major disasters. I mean, Dune at least has some vision to it.
None.
To my mind, Cotton Club has no vision whatsoever. But in any way you look at it, both of these movies are real failures.
Yeah.
Well, now let's summarize how we felt about the 4 major movies that we looked at this week. We both thought that the big science fiction epic Dune was confusing and ponderous. But Jeffrey hated it. Well, I have to concede that whatever it is, it's unique. Unique just isn't good. And we agreed again on The Flamingo Kid, starring Matt Dillon as a boy who sees the good life working at a country club. It's a slight little picture, but it's warm and amiable, and Dillon is actually endearing. Johnny Dangerously, the gangster spoof with Michael Keaton, is only for easy laughers. If vulgarity, stupidity, and witlessness were funny, this picture would be hilarious. And finally, we agree on Cotton Club, Francis Coppola's latest gangster saga. The movie has no plot, no characters, no design, and no style to compensate. In short, it's a major disaster.
I think you're being too kind to that movie as well. Well, next week